Hey, what's up, everyone? This is me, Dre. Now, I was just on CNN.com, and the one of the headline reports is about the Tamir Rice case, 12-year-old black kid that was killed last year while at a park. He had a toy gun, and someone called the police. Now, the thing is, the person who called 911, they said that it looks like the person could be a juvenile and he's scaring the shit out of people, but the gun could be fake. That information was not provided to the responding officers. Now, when I see the video in full motion, from the time the car gets there, and it's just a split second from the time that you see the car come into the scene to the time that Tamir Rice drops. The fucking car was still looks like in motion when the cop opened the door and shot. They said that the distance between 4 to 9 feet, so is almost point blank. But about 2 months ago, they said that it was considered a justifiable homicide. From there, I knew right then and there that there was not going to be any justice for the Rice family, because when these situations, it's just a black kid, so one less nigga on the street. That's how I perceive it. And it's unfortunate because, again, this is an instance of police brutality. Well, I can't say police brutality, but overzealous cops doing their job and black people being at the receiving end of the bullet. And that's what the whole purpose of Black Lives Matter is all about, is because black people are sick and tired of being on the receiving end when it comes to bullets flying around. And you got these motherfuckers talk about all lives matter, but those same motherfuckers didn't have shit to say when Zachary Hammond was killed by the 2 cops. They didn't have anything to say about the little white kid who was driving with the father who was evading police, and the 2 cops shot into the vehicle and the little kid got hit in the head with the bullet. The cops were arrested, but then again, the cops were black. You see how that shit works? So there's some irony to this. You have Sam DuBose, the cop that executed him. He was originally arrested, but then they let him off. I haven't been able to follow up on that story, but I did hear the last time I checked, he was out on bail or something like that. And this motherfucker had the nerve to ask for his job or at least get back pay. But this is a sad case because me as a father, if that were my son, I would be highly upset because here it is, my child is gone. That's how I see it. My child is gone and I get no justice. At first they say it's justifiable homicide, and now they're saying that the cop who pulled the trigger is not going to be arrested. So again, that's a double slap. It's three slaps in the face for the mother and the father, because one, the child is gone. Then they say that it was justifiable homicide, which is bullshit. And then they say that the officer that killed him is not going to be arrested. Is there going to be a further internal investigation? I think they'll sweep this under the rug and nothing's going to come about it. Again, this is just one of the many stories of black people who were killed by the police. And many are going to come to this video. They're going to see the message. They're going to hear the message. And they're going to have a lot to dispute with that, talking about blacks do this and black crimes. Look. If you have to bring manufactured statistics, because I say this all the time, if you have to bring that into the conversation, you're showing your hand at racism. And this isn't about fuck white people. This isn't about fuck the police. This is about police brutality, something that's been happening in this country for decades, long before Rodney King was put on the spotlight for getting his ass kicked by cops, because people in black and brown communities have been seeing this shit for decades. And now some people are surprised that it's happening. And yes, a lot of people will say, well, more white people get killed by the cops. Look, it's not about white people getting killed by the cops. Yes, white people outnumber black people in this country. But how many unarmed white people are getting killed by the cops? Zachary Hammond was one of them. But All Lives Matter motherfuckers didn't have shit to say about that. They were silent when this guy got killed by the cops. Yes, he was trying to evade the police, but he didn't deserve to die the way he did. And you know who stepped up for that? The Black Lives Matter movement. Black Lives Matter, we're not out to call for people to go out and kill cops. I'm not part of it, so when I say we, I just mean black people who are part of it. I'm not calling for the execution of police. Police do serve a purpose. Unfortunately, a lot of what you're seeing in the news is about black people who are continuing to get killed. You have the incident last October where the one gentleman was walking down the street and the cop said that the kid came towards him, shot 16 times. But the video evidence doesn't show. He's arrested. He's on trial. But I think he'll just get a slap on the wrist. And again, no justice for the family. Eric Harris, he was trying to sell a gun illegally. He goes on the run because he spots that it was a stakeout. Reserve officer who shouldn't have even been part of the apprehension thinks he's pulling out his taser, pulls out his service pistol, bam, shoots him. Eric Harris dies. You have Freddie Gray in Baltimore. He gets killed by the cops. And of course, they're going to parade the cops around. It was considered a mistrial a couple of weeks ago, but it was a mistrial all the same. But because some of the cops are black, they decided to prosecute. And understand this, a lot of people say, well, he's trying to fan the flames, he's race baiting. This isn't race baiting. People who claim that it's race baiting, because I'm not trying to speak out against white people. I'm trying to speak out against police brutality. As a black man, I have more to fear walking out in the streets from cops than ISIS. So that's the biggest problem here in this country. And unfortunately, there's a certain demographic that doesn't want to hear about what's happening to us because they simply don't give a fuck. But they're the ones that are quick to bring our demographic, the black demographic, out of their mouth when they want to talk about black on black crime, as if you don't see crime in suburbia. So they want to bring up Detroit, Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore. How about Sandy Hook? How about other demographics in like Aurora? How about Tucson? Jerry Lee Loughner, James Holmes, Adam Lanza, Dylan Roof. There's a lot of names that I can mention, but why should I? Because there's always going to be an excuse. But people always want to put the burden on black people for the shit that happens. Black people should not have to worry about it being a death penalty with an encounter with the police. And this young man, he's not going to get justice, and neither will his family. Anyway, if you like this video, hope that you like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook. Peace.